Let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered why you're still single despite being a total catch? You're like, I know that I am a catch, so why am I still single? And you've achieved a lot in life, right? You've built your career, you crushed your goals, and created a life that you're proud of. But when it comes to love, nothing seems to work. Why is that? Hello, if we haven't met before, my name is Kalia Cooper and I am a Christian dating and relationship coach. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button to make sure that you're notified for more videos. All right, so let's dive back on in. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. It is not because you're not enough. And it's not because there aren't any good, godly men out there. Oh, you might be like, wait a second, then what is it, Kalia? The real reason might be something you've never thought about before. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what it is and how you can change that starting today. Is that all right? So here's the problem. Society, and yes, even the church, what? Even the church has conditioned women to believe that love is something that just happens. A healthy relationship just happens. You don't have to put in work for it. You don't have to even work on yourself. And we're told just wait on God's timing and be patient, and the right man will find you. But here's the truth that no one tells you is that waiting is not a passive activity. Waiting doesn't mean sitting on the sidelines hoping that something will change. Waiting, real biblical waiting means preparing. Oh, somebody tap yourself and say, I need to prepare. And that preparation isn't just external, just like getting on apps or looking for church events. Preparation starts with who you are on the inside. Ooh, we're going somewhere today. It's about becoming the kind of woman who not only attracts, but inspires the right man to pursue. And listen, I get it. You've done everything right. You have prayed for the godly husband. You put yourself out there, right? You're like, I put myself out there. I did the dating apps. I watched this YouTube video. I watched that YouTube video. I listened to this podcast. And maybe, just maybe, you have even lowered your standards. Thinking, well, maybe I'm just asking for too much. And now you're wondering, are there even any good men left? Or worse, is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with me? I see my sister over here getting married. I see her over here getting married. And you open up the apps, you open up Instagram, you're opening up Facebook, and you're like, oh my gosh, it seems like somebody else is getting engaged, somebody else is having a baby, and all of these things are happening, and you're feeling like, well, is this not happening for me because something is wrong with me? And I get it. I get it. I have, been in my single season, was at a place where I was in toxic relationships, settling for the wrong men, even though I knew I was an amazing woman. And you start to ask the question, okay, if everyone else is achieving this, is there something wrong with me? Why it's not happening for me? And let me just tell you right now that there's nothing wrong with you. You are successful, incredible, godly woman. The problem isn't you. The problem is that you haven't been given the right tools to prepare for the love that you have been praying for. And so you see, being successful in love isn't about luck. It's not about waiting for God to randomly drop a man into your life and he's just going to come banging down your door at your house, because if he did that, like, how many of you would be scared if a random man just came banging down your door at your house? Like, you'd probably be freaked out. You'd probably call the police. You'd be like, what in the world? It is about positioning yourself to receive the love that God already has for you. Think of it like this. If you are praying for a breakthrough in a particular area, If you were, praying for a financial increase, if you were praying because you want to create generational wealth, if you were praying for, like, all right, I'm praying for, like, I want to be in the best shape possible, you wouldn't just pray for it. You wouldn't just sit there and do nothing, right? You would work, you would, steward your health well. You would be, working on building avenues to create wealth. Like, you would be doing something. If you wanted to get a promotion at your job, you wouldn't just be sitting back and be like, God, I pray that this just drops in my lap. You would be working on to make sure that you are the woman who is the right woman for the job. The same is true when it comes to love. We have to prepare our heart and our mind to be able to receive the blessing of a godly husband. And preparation first starts with our mindset. Somebody say, watching this, it starts with my mindset. Because here's the truth: love begins with belief. If you don't believe that you are worthy of the love that you desire, how can you expect for a godly man to see your worth? How can we expect that? Because people view us the way that we view ourselves. And so if we are viewing ourselves of, I've achieved all this success in my life over here, but when it comes to love, I don't feel worthy, people are going to view you the way that you view yourself. And they're going to feel that from you, and it's going to decrease your attraction factor. And so it is time to reprogram your subconscious mind to align with the woman that you were created to be. And when I say our subconscious mind, what I mean by that is we have our conscious mind, that which we are very aware of, and we have our subconscious mind. And so our subconscious mind is what runs over 98 to 99% of us. It's our goal getter. It is you, like, on autopilot. And so our belief systems are stored in our subconscious. So this is why we can say, I want a godly relationship. I want a godly marriage. That's our conscious mind. And our belief systems are in our subconscious mind, which is that part of you that says, ooh, I don't actually believe this can happen for me. And this is where the self-sabotage comes in. Is this making sense? Because when you grasp a hold of this, you'll realize, oh my goodness, the reason why I haven't received the love that I want and stepped into that healthy relationship is because my conscience, what I say that I want and what I actually believe are not lined up and in sync. So, how do you start this process? How do you start this process of making sure that what you say that you want and what you believe are on board together? Let me share one powerful tip that changed everything for me and for the women that I coach. In this, one of the things that you can do is write down one affirmation that aligns with the woman that you want to be. Now, affirmations are great, but they do nothing if we're just saying it and we're not actually taking action behind what we're saying. So this is one of the reasons why we can say something and we're like, we're decreeing it, we're declaring it. But if our actions aren't lining up with what we're saying, then nothing is going to change. And so one of the things that you can write down is, I am a wife in spirit and in action, preparing for the man that God has for me. I am a wife in spirit and in action, preparing for the man that God has for me. But you're not just preparing for it, you're putting in the work. So first we have to take on the identity of someone who is successful in love. We have to take on the identity. So when I'm saying that, I'm not just saying this affirmation, then I am going to do what a woman does that knows that she is a wife and that marriage is happening for her. What is she going to do? She's going to position herself to be findable by her godly husband. She's going to get on the dating apps and she's going to have the right mindset going into it. She's not going to believe thoughts like, "Oh, there's going to be no good men for me here." Because if you believe those thoughts and you come into it with that mindset, do you think it's going to work? Yes or no? Probably not. Probably not. And so when you say this affirmation and then you take the action that backs up what it is, the identity shift that you want to have, you're going to find yourself moving more towards what it is that you want. And this is why when my clients work with me and we do this work and they're going through, how to be able to walk in the spirit of a wife and date like a wife, and they're learning these things, they have the right mindset. And then they have a tool set to build the right skill sets that they need. I learned this from one of my online mentors. First, you need the right mindset. Then you need the right tool set to build the right skill set. You start to, and I learned this and heard this from a man named Myron Golden, where he's talking about you need the mindset, you need the tool set, and you need the skill set. And this is what we help our clients to do here. And so when you do this consistently, something amazing happens. Your subconscious mind starts to align with that belief. You stop doubting your worth and you start showing up in the world as confident. The confident, radiant woman that you truly are, and you start to become magnetic to the right kind of men. And this is a process, right? But can you see it? Can you see if you start to actually align what you say you want with what you're actually believing, that this can happen for you? And so I want you to imagine this, that you are walking in your God-given purpose. You are radiating confidence and you are embodying the spirit of a wife. You are no longer settling for half-hearted attention or dead-end relationships. You are no longer questioning if you are good enough or if love is even possible for you. I really want you to imagine that and step into that. And instead, you are attracting a man who sees your value, who's ready to lead, and who wants to pursue you intentionally. How amazing does that feel? A man who prays for you, a man who cherishes you, and partners with you to build a godly marriage. That's not just a dream, that's a reality that's possible for you, but it starts with shifting your mindset and preparing yourself for the love that God has for you. A lot of the times we're like, oh, like I'm preparing, I'm praying, I'm fasting. But then because we don't actually believe that this can happen for us, we're not taking the actions that it actually takes to get into that relationship. And so if this resonates with you and you are ready to take that first step to preparing for love that you have been praying for, first and foremost, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And I have created a training that dives deeper into this. In this training, I will show you how to break free from the patterns that have been holding you back, reprogram your mindset to align with the woman that God created you to be, and to position yourself to attract the right kind of man. And so if you're ready to start that journey, go ahead and grab my free training below. There's some other resources. If you're wanting to dive deeper into this and possibly work with me and my team, you can book a call below. But I want you to remember this, is that you are not single because you're not enough. I want you to get that out of your mind right now. You are single because you haven't yet learned how to position yourself for the right kind of love, but that can change today. Somebody say it can change today, because it's one thing when I say it, but when you say it, you start to believe it. And remember, belief is what causes us to take the action. You have the power to prepare, to position yourself, and to step into the fullness of who God made you to be. That magnetic woman who receives the abundance, the man that God has for her, even more money that God has for her, all the opportunities that the Lord wants you to step into. So let's help you to take that step today. And together we will make sure that you are ready for the godly man that you have been praying for, because I truly believe that godly marriages can change this world. Let's start to change your story today, starting now. All right, see you in the next video.